Hi everyone, you're watching the Skywatch Media News Channel, and here's what's happening for the final week of November 2018. The U.S. government recently delivered a dire warning about the Earth's climate and its devastating impacts on our civilization and on the economy. The NOAA, National Centers for Environmental Information, has emphasized that the Earth is experiencing a change in our climate, unlike anything witnessed in human civilization, as global average temperatures continue to rise. The science is very clear, direct, and it is very disturbing. The extreme weather spreading across the globe is demonstrated by long-term trends. Humans are experiencing the warmest temperatures in modern history, and our world is on track to warm by more than 1 degree Fahrenheit in short order, and by century's end could increase by 9 degrees or more. So what are some of the dramatic effects of climate change? The cost of a changing climate is unimaginable, reaching into the hundreds of billions of dollars annually, in which farmers will face extremely tough times as the quality and the quantity of crops decline across the country due to extreme temperatures, drought, and floods. Midwest farmers will see a decline in corn production of more than 25%, and farmers in the South could lose more than 25% of its soybean yield. Additionally, heat stress will cause dairy production to decrease dramatically within the next 12 years. There will also be a devastating loss of shellfish and corals by century's end due to ocean acidification, which is already having a significant effect on ocean life. Red tides and algae blooms will escalate, depleting the oceans of oxygen and resulting in additional loss of sea life, similar to what was recently experienced in Florida back in August when a state of emergency was declared. These types of events will become more frequent. Higher temperatures will result in more illness and deaths. The Midwest, which is predicted to have the greatest increase in extreme temperatures, with thousands of premature deaths prior to the year 2090. There will be more mosquito and tick-borne diseases, more asthma and allergies, and more foodborne and waterborne diseases. No one's health will be immune to the effects of climate change. Wildfires will destroy 6 times more forest annually in many areas of the U.S. within the next 30 years. Dependable and safe water resources for places such as Hawaii and the Caribbean will be threatened by rising temperatures. U.S. coastlines will be in serious jeopardy as rising sea levels, flooding, and storm and tidal surge take a heavy toll on infrastructure and real estate. Sea levels have already gone up 7 to 8 inches since the year 1900. Almost half that rise has been since the year 1993, a rate of rise greater than during any century in the past 2,800 years. Some countries are already seeing land underwater. By mid-century, it's likely that the Arctic will lose all sea ice in late summer, and that could lead to more permafrost thaw. As a result of the permafrost thaw, more carbon dioxide and methane would be released into the atmosphere. Energy systems will be taxed, resulting in more blackouts and power and grid failure, resulting in the loss of hundreds of billions of dollars per year by century's end. The number of days where temperatures will exceed 100 degrees will multiply, turning Midwestern cities such as Chicago into something that resembles more the city of Phoenix or Las Vegas. So, what can be done to curtail climate change? In October this year, the United Nations urged all governments to initiate rapid, unprecedented changes in all aspects of society in order to avoid a disaster from climate change. The United Nations report predicted that the Earth would reach the irreversible temperature tip point of 2 degrees as early as the year 2030. The report suggests that the Earth inevitably faces severe drought, wildfires, floods, and food shortages for hundreds of millions of people. The reactions to the new report from the scientific community have been very strong. It is a warning that has been raised for years, and the most recent revelations are a testament for climate scientists. Despite the beliefs of climate deniers or those who may profess alternate causes, the findings of the NCA report is showing how the health and the daily functions of Americans is becoming more interrupted due to the effects of climate change. The science is undeniable, and it is time that responsible individuals begin accepting and taking action, if there is still time, in a concerted effort to confront the climate dilemma that threatens all life on this planet. The latest National Climate Assessment is a very grave report outlining the extreme effects of climate change on the United States. A special report that was due to be released in December at a scientific conference in Washington, D.C. But instead, it was published by the federal government 2 weeks earlier on the afternoon of Black Friday, the busiest shopping day of the year, a time frame planned not by coincidence. Publishing a dire climate report in the final hours of Black Friday may just be the biggest dump of inconvenient news that the public has ever witnessed. The information provided in the report is not just for the benefit of the federal government. It is for the beneficial needs of every city, state, business, and homeowner. It is for the benefit of humanity. Most significantly, the report was endorsed by the NOAA, by NASA, by the Department of Defense, and by 10 other federal, administrative, and scientific agencies. It represents decades of work from over 300 authors and from scientists across the United States. The report is blunt and to the point. It is a stark warning that the Earth's climate is changing faster than at any point in the history of modern civilization. The assertion that current or future climate conditions will resemble past conditions is no longer valid. For centuries, Americans have lived near coastlines, and they have assumed that the sea would not move from its fixed location. Farmers had planted corn and wheat in its time, assuming that the harvest would not falter. People frolicked in the winter snow, relished the springtime blossoms, and they delighted in the fall colors and assumed that the seasons would not shift from their course. But now everything has changed. The sea is rising up and moving inland. The harvest is faltering and failing in the heartland, and the seasons are in disarray. If you are an avid observer of the earth and the sky, then you already know this. The report from the NCA tells the exact story in factual terms. Since the year 1901, the United States has warmed by nearly 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat waves are arriving earlier in the year and are abating much later than was normal nearly 60 years ago. Mountain snowpack out west has shrunk significantly in the past 50 years, and 16 of the last 17 warmest years on record have all occurred since the year 2000. This is no coincidence. It is a trend, and it is not a distant issue. The water, the environment, the economy, our food supply, and our way of life, every single one of these things is being affected in various ways by today's climate change. As you look to the sky, be not dismayed by the changes happening around you. For all things must change in their time and in their season. Do not walk in fear of what may occur, for fear will keep you focused on the past, and it will cause worry about the future. By acknowledging your fear, you will come to realize your self-worth. You will be at peace with yourself and with all earthly beings. Your eyes will still see the beautiful and magnificent sky, and your ears will hear the voices of your loved ones and of those who came before you. Thanks for watching.